Well, hello everyone. My name is Mr. Dewad. This is Traditional Family Show. We are GYC community. The purpose of the show is we focus on restructuring the family. So in order for us to do that, we gotta target the root, the cause of the problem. Where those problems comes from, why the family can't stay together. We cannot have the father staying in the house. We cannot have a strong family. And this is the whole purpose of this show. The show to target these things. And the topic for today is gonna be how to choose a partner. How to choose a partner. So my name is Minister Dewad once again, and to my right,
Sister Alicia,
Minister Yeshua.
Chief Daniel,
Chief Napash.
so I got four guests in the live tonight that's gonna break down how to choose a mate or how to choose a partner. They are four experts. All right. The first question is, because oftentimes people said, "How do I choose a partner?" Understand? I don't think that a lot of people have the understanding of how to really choose a partner. And I think part of it that caused the family to destroy is started from choosing a partner. And how can someone choose a partner? That's the first question. Who want to answer first? Well, you guys want me to choose?
No, you can.
All right, Sister Alicia. How do you think, as a woman should choose a man?
Usually people have now women. They have tendency of choosing a man based on if he's cute, how he look. That's the society that we're living in. They're not looking deeper. They're just looking on the outside. If the man look good, or what kind of job he's doing, if he have enough money, what kind of car he's driving. So usually that's the thing that they're looking for, the woman that they are looking for. But I guess I'm thinking he have to be deeper than that. So is this man, it's a family man. Is this man, want to do something stable? If he want a family, so is he ready to raise a family, to have a wife, to have children? Because those things you have to think them, of the partner that you're choosing. So you have to know if it's a man of God. Because if you know if it's a man that respect the Most High, that's fear the Most High, that have the law, that know he's striving to know to do the Most High's laws, and then he's a family man, he's gonna always stay around because he know that he cannot just throw his wife away or cannot mistreat his wife and children. So he will always work hard for them. But I guess that's all I can say. You need to know if it's a man that's gonna always stand by the Most High law, that's gonna stay by his wife, stay by his children, to raise them, to help them go through life, and then to push forward.
Okay. So we're gonna start first with the women, and then after that we're gonna transverse it to the men. Brother Ishaq, so how do you think that a woman should first look for a partner? How do they should choose a partner?
Well, first is to set your expectation. Your expectation goes on your value as a woman. You can't be a woman already having kids and you want a man that have so much options. So we see in this society, most women want that 100, six-figure income guy. So you aiming way too high for your value. So because a man that have all that kind of money, he can find any younger girl even more beautiful than you are. So he got options. Do you think a man like that will go after you? So a lot of our women are dying single. Most black women will not get married because they set their expectations too high. And most of these guys that are in in their rank, in their what they should expect, they're shooting them down.
Yeah, so you're saying that they should set their expectation based on
your value.
their value.
Exactly. Set your expectation based on your value. Don't try to overprice yourself. Right? So some women think they're princess, they're queen, and they overprice themselves. And any guy that approach that's not in that level, they shoot them down, and they're complaining.
4 or 5 children.
Exactly. You got 4. You got, even if you got 1 child. Remember, a woman lose value based on her beauty and the amount of kids you have. A man, on the other side, you lose value when you don't have money.
And with money you can get anytime.
And money and your morality, all of that combined. But money, the Bible says money make a man strong. Right? So in woman it's her beauty.
Right.
Riches is for strong men, beauty is for a woman. So although we know beauty is not all that is to a woman, but that's the first thing a man see.
Right.
And this is the reason why he will approach you at first. So, you know, and once he find out you got kids, he already know, hey, listen, most men in general do not want to date women with kids. Because what, especially if they're high value, they already know that I'm going to be a stepfather. Most men don't want to do that. So, but a woman that already got kids, I would advise you to lower your expectation. Right? If you already got kids, the best you can ask for is a man that already have kids like yourself. You know, how you have kids, but you don't want to take a man with kids. You know, so you will lose your chance. But if you're single, you know, when it's coming to choose your man, I mean, you can aim high if you're single, still beautiful and the flower of your age. You know, but as the Bible said, the most important thing is be with a righteous man. Because at the end of the day, yes, money do give people value, but it stinks when you have money and you got a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Right? So money with a bad attitude doesn't make value.
Doesn't balance.
Right, there's what we call financial value. There's we got moral values. So it's always to be with a righteous man. I mean, that's for a start for your sisters. Based on, you know, in general, just market yourself based on your value.
Right.
Know your value and set the expectation.
Okay. Well, that's good answer. Good answer. Sis, as a woman, you know, because this society says, oh, women. They often tell the women, you gotta set your values, as you was talking to Sisha, set your standard really high because you know you're beautiful, you're all that. But you know, as a woman, what do you think a woman should look first before looking consider first before looking for a partner?
Like it was already said, a woman should always look for what the man presents to her as, you know, as a package. Is he stable? Is he spiritually grounded? Does he have directions? What is his example of marriage? What is his example of relationship? Meaning, does he come from a two-parent household? Are his parents married? Are they good examples of how a marriage should be put together? Because the foundation is very important. We can only assume, or a man can only assume, that if his parents are not together, if he was raised by a single mom, and hearing her desires for a husband, I wish, you know, this guy would come, or seeing her struggles and seeing her empty without love, would only assume what his wife would need based on his experience with his mom.
Okay.
And not every woman needs the same thing. So now, although he possessed the right qualities, he's working, he's a family man, he loves his mom, he could miss his mark with the needs of the woman that he is seeking or that he's courting. So women in turn should look for balance. You know, can he learn to provide love? Can he learn to love me? Is he capable? Is he willing to learn what I have to teach him about me? You know, and or does he want me to be this sort of person to fit his mold? Then you can't go that, because then you're being someone that someone else wants to be rather than you yourself and he accepting you as yourself.
Okay. But before I jump to you, Chief Napash, Sister Danya, but do you think that these women actually do look for a man to potentially get married with, or do you think that they, like, based on the way they portray themselves, when they a lot of time they would say, okay, I'm going to date with this man, uh, especially in this society, women go to so many dates. They said, oh, I went to this date with this man, I went to this man, I'm just looking for a man, I'm just looking for a man. But that's the spirit they project out there. But do you think that this is the right way of looking to get a partner, or
No,
you know?
I
What
don't
are your
think
input
she
on
should
that?
be looking. I think she should be taking care of herself, and making sure that she has the right qualities to present to the man that she's looking for.
Wow. We don't often hear that. So technically, she should, as a woman, you should focus on yourself to see if you right on the inner self before you search for another man, before you search for a man,
Before you accept him,
before you accept him. Okay.
shouldn't really be looking.
Right. You shouldn't be looking, because when you're walking in the street, men tend to look. Men always looking. But if you the right one, they're gonna find you.
Yeah.
You understand? So go ahead.
I mean, before we go on that, I agree to a certain extent, but in this marketplace we're living in right now, if you tell a woman not look, it will be even harder to even find a man. But what I would say is rather look in the right place. You know, what is your belief? Again, what we talked about last time. So, are you compatible with the person? So, what kind of, like, if you go to the club, you get a guy from the club.
You should expect to get a.
You know, you get a club boy, right? So, if you, by example, a Christian, I would advise you go to a Christian church, right? It's not, yeah, you're looking for the Lord, but by looking for the Lord, you might find someone, you know, but you need to be at the right place. You cannot hide yourself in your house and expect the Lord will send an angel and fall down to your roof.
Right.
There must be some place you can go to find that person. Not per se looking, but looking.
Right. Go ahead.
to say on him, not that she would stay home, but in order to work on self at home, she could be going to school, she could be working out, making sure she's taking care of her appearance, and as she's out in public taking care of herself, she may see him. If she's going to church, he may see her, but not to close herself in the house.
Right.
But there's all areas that she has to work on herself, so I agree.
Thank you for clarifying, sis. What are your input on that, Brother Chief Napash? So, for a woman who are looking for a partner, so what do you think they should consider first before they look for a partner?
Well, I think the most important thing in everything we do, specifically when it comes to relationship, is to be able to define yourself, know what you want, know first of all who you are, know what you want, what you accept and what you don't accept. And you know, you will find a lot of time people are ready to date. They say, let me just go out there and start dating. But if she, right, was to take some time and write down the type of guys she doesn't want and the type of attributes in a guy that she doesn't like, and literally write those things down. Believe it or not, there's something special about writing down your thoughts, writing down those things that you want. So she can first define herself. If she's a Hebrew Israelite, and which I'm sure we're talking about Hebrew women here, right? As a Hebrew Israelite, I want a man that, number one, would be more accepting to the truth. He may not immediately, accept the truth, but he's accepting, meaning he's willing to agree or understand where you are as far as, and there's gonna be signs. She can talk to a guy and immediately the guy's like, yeah, I'm not into all that crazy stuff. Stay away. Stay away, because that's a red flag. But if he's really ready to listen, you have a chance. Even if something happens, you end up being with that guy. Trust me, one day he'll come through. Meaning he will come to the truth, hopefully. And this is why we have the law. A woman should not just go ahead and engage with anybody. She should be patient. But so that's one thing. Is you know yourself, you know what you want, and you can already plan out by writing down the bad attributes, the bad characters that you do not want in a guy. And like I said, there's gonna be signs. If he's a violent guy, there's gonna be sometimes he's gonna say something that's very violent, or he's gonna talk about violence all the time. And if you don't want a guy that smokes weed, and the guy that's talking to you, he could fake it as much as he wants. But trust me, just look around, look at his friends. They all smoke weed. So maybe when it comes to his pretending he doesn't smoke weed, right? But so if you were paying attention, you would know that by, somebody's friend should it be enough to tell you who they are. Right? So like I say, is know yourself and know that individual.
Okay.
And most importantly is to write down what you will accept and what you will not accept.
Okay. So what do you guys think as for men? Because I know it's different for men versus what men looking for and what women looking for. Understand? What do you guys think about a man who's looking for a woman? What are some of the things that the men should consider before look for a woman? Go back to you. Oh, I'm going to me to say Sean first this time. Coming back to you.
Right. So, in a biblical point of view, it doesn't really change much. It's someone that fear the Most High, but I always mention that to all my brothers. The most important thing you choose in anybody, whether it's women or men, you look for in their character. Can that person adjust themselves? Can they
change?
Not much change, but the word is, can that person have a conscience? When I mean conscience, let me tell you, you can choose somebody who's not in the truth, right? But can that person see the truth and say, okay, that's the truth. I'm willing to go with it.
Right.
When that person do wrong to you, can that person say, I'm sorry?
Right.
That's the conscience. You see what I'm saying?
Like acknowledging yourself that what you've done wrong, to apologize for what you've
right.
done.
It's not only on that sense, but that person have a good conscience. Meaning they know, listen, some people you meet, they'll say, listen, I know I messed up. Right? I think that's a key characteristic in anybody you did. If that person, you see they're really hard to apologize, and they, whatever you show them, they're like, I don't care about that, right? I think that's the first sign that the person have no willingness to change. I think that's the biggest thing. Fear of the Most High and willingness to change. But on a worldly perspective as a man, what do we look for in a woman? Honestly, just like a brother said, I was watching a show, he said, men love a woman more than a woman love a man. Why? Because men love idealistically, meaning we love you based on the idea you're a woman. But women love opportunistically,
Right.
meaning based on what you got and what you can provide. Can you protect me? Right? So we don't expect the woman to protect us. We don't expect her to provide for us.
None of that.
None of that. We just love you. We just love you, and that's why it is shown that most men committed suicide after a breakup. Most men. It's accurate.
It's like
most
you
men,
put so much effort in trying to love this woman, but in the end it turned out not to be.
So because most men invest their heart into relationship. Women, by example, a woman could not be working forever. Men, no problem. But a man stop working for 6 months, I don't know where that love at, right? So things start changing because women see opportunity. Can you take care of me? Can you provide? That's why the Most High love us the most, because the Most High really, He give us love for. What do we have to give back to him?
Right.
So at the end of the day, that's why when a man is choosing a woman, because you love so deeply, it's not because of what she got or anything. It's not attached to something she can provide for the most part. I mean, I'm talking about more traditional, because more modern men.
They look for opportunity too.
They're looking for that nurse and that. that
That nurse, that doctor.
you know, so that to take care of him. But I'm talking about a real man. You know, it's men they look for a woman that that feel the most high, and a woman that's humble.
Yeah, but you said something very important here, and I think on the idea that a man is not looking, because really we as men, I remember the scripture in Ephesians, but the Most High says, it says, husband loves your wife, but he never said how the wife to love the husband. It said submit unto the man, right? And that submission, when you have a partner who doesn't understand if they do something wrong to you, to apologize, that's softness. I think we as a man, we often see, if I can't see that softness from that woman, and it becomes a problem.
Right.
You understand? And I think this is one of the things that as sisters should be watch out for, because when you're in a relationship, sometimes it's hard for them to say sorry. Understand? They feel like, okay, if I'm saying so, this modern day women I'm talking about.
They just say I cook food. That's not
I cook food, or they may use XEX to compensate for what has done, but really you haven't healed the wounds that you just caused.
Yeah.
You understand? Because just apologizing, it takes a big weight. You understand? Once you said I apologize, and that person said, okay, no problem, I forgive you. It takes a big weight out of that person's heart, right? Versus you not apologizing and let that man to continue build up. It eventually break out and you can't solve it.
Right.
Understand?
So
It's become too late.
let me put that into words. So what would a man look for is a good conscience, submission, and cooperation. You know, can that woman cooperate with me? Will she submit? And does she have a good conscience? Right. So at the end of the day, but I'm gonna tell you, ladies too, like the first thing that attracts a man to you is her beauty. So take care of yourself.
Right.
Really do. Because
That's a good thing.
at the end of the day, we do like, now we're not talking about all them eyelashes and wigs and stuff like that, because honestly, men are turned off by these things if you didn't know.
Yeah.
We scared of women that are wearing all these stuff.
And I can't
Because
stand that.
we already see you're gonna ruin our finance. Because if you're wearing this $300 wig, what you gonna do to my bank account?
Right.
You know, we don't know if you're not a transgender. You know, so all these things actually scare men more than ever now. That's why we have a sister on Facebook. She was saying why we pretty girls and all the plain Jane's girls are getting all the men, but we're not getting approached by these men. I'm like, men are scared of you, sister. Listen, we don't need all that. You know, we wanna know what. If you go to a marketplace, they hide the merchandise. Will you try to buy? I need to know what I'm getting. I don't know what's under all this makeup.
Yeah.
You know, wake up next to and know what, you know. So, you know, so it's really important that, you know, keep yourself natural. The
natural beauty.
You know, when we see a natural woman, we see that's a marriageable woman.
Yes.
You see that, you say, okay, I want to marry that one. But when I see all that makeup, I'm like,
you run for your life.
I run for my life. That's why all the so-called plain Jane women, they're married. Because men know what they're getting up front.
They be like, oh, why this woman, she's not wearing all the wig, all these expensive stuff, but she got a man in her house.
Right.
She understood what it is to be a woman.
Exactly.
Because once you portray yourself out there with them big old eyelashes where you can't even close your eyes, what? As a man, do you think that a man gonna just be like, oh, let me take this woman home? You're gonna scare his mama because his mother doesn't dress like this,
right,
or doesn't portray herself like this. And I think a lot of time that, especially the modern woman, quote unquote, they think that men really looking for those traits they portray, they really emphasize on these days, versus keeping themselves in a natural way, where as a man can say, I see it different, because I haven't seen women conducting themselves like, or being like this, because it's hard to find someone who's natural this day.
Right, yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. If you go to Walmart, you see a red juice, right? The redder it is, the more questionable it becomes. You look at that just like, wow. Yeah, orange juice, it looks so yellow. I mean, I gotta read that. So a man with sense, right? I'm talking. If you need a good man,
Yeah.
good men with sense already know when the things is too extra. You're putting too much effort into it. You understand? You see that juice is really red. It's like, man, that's too red. I gotta read what's up with that red juice, right? So if it's more natural, if you go to a store, you see it actually got the natural look of an orange. What happens? You're like, oh, okay, yeah. You're most likely inclined not to even read it because you know the natural color of an orange.
Right.
It's the same thing with women. The more you're putting butts out here, you know, replacing your face, doing all that. Listen, we see that butt, we know it's not natural, and now men don't even want that big butt because we know most of them are fake.
It's fake.
It's like we might as well go with the flats.
Because at least the flat, I know it's not fake.
I know that's not fake, but there's no telling
understand?
what you get.
And this is why it's gonna be very crucial for women, just like it says on Isaiah 4 verse 1, in the last day that there's multiple women gonna gravitate into one man and says, okay, I just want a man, right? Because we're approaching that time. Reason why? Because we find a lot of women, the fact that they so accustomed, they see the celebrity do something, they want to do it too. Next thing you know, everybody is looking the same way. As a man, you look at, because men don't like to see, if I can see everything in the street, I want to go to something different when I go home. You understand? If everybody look the same, so I can just go ahead and choose. And men don't choose like this. Men like to see the difference. What difference do you, or how different are you with this woman?
Separate.
You know, can I go home to my mama with you? You understand? So, what's your input on that? Chief Napash. Yeah. Then address.
I think the question that you had asked is, what are the things that a man would be looking in a woman,
Right.
correct? First is almost the same thing as Yeshua has said. I think that's kind of like the minimum requirement is for that woman to show that she has the fear of the Most High. If I walk up to a woman, I'm talking to her, and the first thing she says she hates the Most High, that's already a turn off right there. Now, I still believe people can change, obviously, but I'm not gonna put my hope on a woman and that the first thing she's saying is that she doesn't like the Most High, or sometimes they come to they say, well, I'm spiritual. And when they say they're spiritual, they have a bunch of rocks and they believe in planets, they believe in cosmic energy and all kind of nonsense. Trust me, they're in chakras. Okay, they are not spiritual. Okay, they're demonic. So that's the first thing. And I think the second thing is she willing to listen? You know, even some rappers. I know there's a rapper. He make a song. He said in the song, he said, "I'm looking for a woman that's gonna listen." And you might think, well, what does that mean, listen? Listen is someone who's ready to be quiet for a second and listen. And modern women nowadays, they are more ready to argue and fight than to just calm down for 2 seconds and listen. At times, you know, the man could be saying something and you just don't figure it out yet, or you don't understand it yet, but wait, be patient. Like me personally, I can start talking to you. At first, you will not understand. But then if you wait for 2 seconds, I'm going to say something that's going to clear what I just say. Because I'll never say something and not making sure you fully understand what I say. But if all you do is talk, you will never listen to the whole thing. Or if every time I say one word, you fight with me over that one word. And, you know,
Because chaos.
it's just not fruitful. It's not good for anyone to be in any relationship where you're fighting every single day. So, again, you're looking for those signs. If you're a man, you're looking for a woman, you want to see signs that she fears the Most High and that she's willing to listen. And then lastly is she's willing to compromise. Okay? And we go back to the same thing in respect to someone who's an unbeliever. So if a man, you're single and you're looking for a woman and she doesn't know the truth yet, and you start teaching her and she's very attentive, she's listening, she wants to know more, she's curious. Even if she doesn't show that much curiosity, maybe it could be just because of the way you're teaching her. But she's not outrightly trying to destroy your belief or trying to tell you, yeah, I don't want that in my life. You trust me, you do not want to pursue and keep going after that woman that has already shown you she has no interest in what you're about. Because if she really wants you, and if she's showing signs that she's, willing to follow you, and she's very excited to know more about the truth, that means those are all the great signs that you need to tell you, hey, this woman might be the one, because at least she's willing. She's willing to follow me. She's willing to listen, and most importantly, she fears the Most High.
Okay. No, great answers. Great answers. So my next question is, what mistake do you guys think that people often makes when they are choosing a partner, especially in this day? Let's start with Sister Dami.
Misreading the person, thinking that, not really looking at the signs when they're shown, based on a reaction that he might have had to a situation, and whether or not if he was aggressive or, verbally abusive towards it, you just, brush it off. Oh, well, that was just that point. I was wrong, taking the blame, and then you still go with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signs. So the mistake that we tend to make is missing the signs.
Okay. Missing the sign. Next, brother, I choose you next. I didn't choose you last time. Sister Alicia. So what are some mistakes do you think that we often make when we're choosing a partner?
There's a lot of mistakes, usually not only women but men usually make. Just like I said before, they're looking at the outside, not looking inside, not looking at what the person has to offer or good, that on the point of righteousness, but they're looking at the world material stuff. They looking at the men now, looking at the woman now, beautiful, you have to have a beautiful shape or stuff like that. And the women are looking at men how to have 6-12 packs, and they're looking at those beautiful cars and stuff like that. But there is other stuff. Is it this person have moral? Are they willing to follow the Most High? Are they trying to do good? But they're not looking at those things. They're looking at what those person need. They have money, where they go, what their friends they have. Some women choose men according to people that they are around, because they know people that's out there, that's singers or celebrities. Oh yeah, that celebrity. Oh yeah, they
just go with the
they go with
flow.
you. Yeah, they go with you because somebody that's important. So sometimes it's really big mistake.
Based on status.
Yeah.
Not a word. Okay. Anastasia, what do you say about that?
Well, I would say for women and men it's different, the mistakes. For women, as I said earlier, is overpricing. Women tend to, all women think they are queens, and I got that ticket on me that certain men can afford.
It's super pricey.
Now,
pricey.
the men that are making 6 figures are really rare, and they got so many options. If you're waiting for a man like that, trust me, I don't know, man. It's gonna take a really, really, really long time for you to get a man, because these men are rare and they got options, especially if you're not that pretty or to attract a man, or you already you in advancing age, you got kids. Please don't bet on that. For women, that's overpricing yourself, and shooting down all your chances. Men that could take care of you, but because he's not making certain money, he's not driving certain cars. As the sister says, it's everybody's motivated by money, but at the end of the day, I feel like they value themselves too high than what you are. It's the same thing if you go to swap shop right now or to any store and you see a merchandise that's super, you know that thing doesn't worth $300. Probably worth $10, and they put it $300. Like, they're crazy. You know?
I could get that at Dollar Tree.
Exactly. So it's like, what are you doing? So sometimes when people like the females mainly, they overprice themselves, right? Just know your value in the sense of, you know, are you, or what age are you, your beauty, and what can you bring to the table, your wisdom. It's a lot of things that could value you. So for the ladies, overpricing. For men, is external beauty. The Bible, at the same time, this is the first thing we attract to it. But the most mistake brothers make after we approach a woman because she looks so good, we tend to not find out what else behind that beauty, right? We like, oh, she got nice shape and stuff like that. Then we go ahead and make babies with these women. Right, before you know it, she turned into the devil in the house.
She had a package.
Right? So she got, you know, the Bible says beauty is vain, but a woman not fear the Most High. It's not that beauty don't count, it's the first thing that a man see. But if that beauty is not backed up by anything else, it becomes vain. Yeah. Right? So what else apart of you having a nice shape?
Besides the beauty.
What else in your head? Are you a businesswoman or you just gonna waste my money? Right?
You get me broke in 2 seconds.
Right. So what else? So the Bible say a wicked woman will leave a man to a piece of bread. Right. So you need a woman of Proverbs 31 that can do business, that take care of the family, that's feminine, that cooperative, submit and nice, and all these good characteristics can make your life good. But after you get a beautiful woman, she turn into the devil, man. Before you know you
broke.
You got gray hairs, man.
Yeah. Chief Napash, let's say it down.
Couple of things I wanted to mention. You know, the minister said that the women, they overprice themselves. I think as Hebrews, they should overprice themselves because they are very expensive. I think the word the minister want to say is really they have some women have too high expectations. And they set the condition too high. When the good men come, who might seem to be poor, but he's a righteous man, that they fail to choose that man. I might be wrong, Minister, you shall correct me if I am, but I don't think it's so much of pricing yourself as, because, you know, our sisters are not really commodities. But at the same time, they are very valued women because they have knowledge, they have wisdom, and they have the Torah. They have great qualities that if a man know what to look for, she would know definitely. It's like going to the market. You're looking at the products, you see that one, you're like, I gotta take that one. I have to. So as far as pricing, that's what I look at it. So, and I think the sisters really should value themselves on that because they know their worth. But when it comes to setting expectation, sisters, specifically righteous sisters, should not make it about cash. Should not make it about that the guy has to be the most handsome guy on earth, or maybe it has to be a billionaire, and I think that's a huge mistake.
You have to be 6 feet.
If the man comes, he's a hard worker and he's righteous, he's into the work of the Most High, he shows respect, and he's into his family, he's about family. This is it. That's for you. You know, you don't have to. You're not gonna get everything at one time, even if it doesn't seem like you have $1 million right now. But every single day, you strive to make progress. That's something you want.
And if you're a good woman, your job,
Right.
what you would do, you say, okay, how can I help this man to reach to that level?
Correct.
So that way we can have a strong family.
Correct. Now to add, when we have this question that you asked, right? The question is, what are the signs, right? What are the mistakes? And to
Right.
me, the key, the biggest mistake is, and I think I'll back up Sister Chief Dania on that, is not looking at the ominous signs. Okay, trust me. Whatever you're doing, for example, before there is a war, before you're invaded, there are signs. For example, your enemy start moving tanks to your border. Your enemy start moving soldiers to your border. Your enemy start moving field hospital to your border. Blood banks. Why are you moving blood banks if you're not about to shed some people's blood? Right? So all of those signs are ominous signs telling you that something is coming. So the same thing is when you're choosing someone, he says something that's off. You need to pay attention to that. Or it seems like it's too good to be true. Trust me. Oftentimes, that little feeling that you have, even if you don't know, but there's that one little feeling. It's like someone whispered into your ears. If you keep feeling that little feeling, that should enough tell you to be very, very careful and investigate and test, investigate and test. And again, if you rely on the Most High, if you have the fear of the Most High, which is one of the key requirements, He will lead you to find the ultimate truth. Because the signs is just telling you there's something deeper below the surface. Okay? And all you have to do is just literally scratch a little bit and you're gonna see everything will come. Like they usually say, when everything comes to light, you will see.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think this is the key thing. The key thing is the chief say not to investigate, but I would say is you're not looking at the ominous signs. There are signs, and there's gonna be one, two, or even many. But there will be, and even if you don't see it, you will feel it.
Right. Because the Most High will reveal it to you either way. If you really rely on the Most High, I truly believe the Most High will reveal to you whether it is the right person or not. Or sometime, if He has another, maybe you could be the key to save that person. Because I don't believe nothing good come without a process. Because sometimes if you're looking for love, the Most High gonna give you someone to love. But at the same time, I think that it may also come with, because we all gonna find something in each other that we can fix. Have you ever seen that? You see, like when two people just getting together, at first they didn't look alike, but at some point you feel like they moving in the same momentum. You understand? They moving in the same speed. And they look up. They start even look alike.
Speak the same way.
They speak the same way.
And sync.
And right, but that's because that's when they pass that level of really understanding each other's, and then it becomes like everything becomes so natural that when you see her, you see him. When you see him, you see her. Understand? Because at this point they become one, just like the scripture said.
Let me say something. When I say overpriced, I'm mainly talking about people in the world. I'm sure our sisters are not, shouldn't be at least looking for a man with 100K and 3 figures. So, 6-figure income. I'm talking about the world in general. In the world, women literally price themselves. They say, I want that type of man with that type of money, right? So I don't think, and again, if you're in the truth, that's why the truth requires you to go based on the time when we used to choose mate based on moral value, not financial values.
Right.
Now, financial values was always there, right? Money was always thing, but it wasn't the priority. Because families would look at you and be like, does he have any disease running in his family? Right? Does this man have,
History of thieving.
history of stealing, because if one of your family steal, they call you a thief family.
Yeah, they're not gonna marry.
They're not. That was the traditional way. We would not let our children get into any family because we look at whatever you did. And we're like, man, my family not gonna carry a bad name, no matter how much money you have, right? I will not let my daughter marry into your family. So this is for Hebrews,
Right.
But for the world, and if we're trying to repent these people, they need to understand that stop overpricing yourself in the world anyway. And if they wanna actually have a Hebrew Israelite way of life, they need to stop putting money over everything, right? But in case that you wanna still go in the world and deal with the world, you need to stop overpricing yourself, because men will run away from that. And even before a man could give you a chance for you to see signs in dating, if you overprice yourself, they're gonna run away. I hope no Hebrew Israelite women do that. Talking about I want a 6-figure income man, and none of that. You know, for Israelites, it's a little different. We need to look for a man of value, of moral value. Price a man based on his value, of his morality and all that. But for the world, like, if you're not gonna be in the truth, you might as well don't overprice yourself. I think that's it.
I have one thing to say. For women that have children, it just depends on the circumstances why they are single parenting or why they already have children. So it doesn't devalue a woman in a sense where she's not, marriable. Like she can't find a mate because she has children or she has a child. To me, there's a lot of value in those type of women that already have children going in. And the same thing with men. The circumstances behind a man that has children by a woman, and that doesn't devalue him because he has kids going into a relationship. So I just want to say that, don't set the standard. It's okay to know it, investigate it, and say, is this something that I want to get into? If you don't have children, it might be something that you want to look into. Do I really want to go into this relationship with this man that has a child or this woman that has a child because it comes with the other parent if they're living? But having the children going in doesn't really take away from that individual. That individual just comes with a package.
Let me say this. The value is not based on value of in sexual market and finding person is not based on you. It's based on what the other people's looking for. And according to statistics, most men don't want to date with a woman with a kid. And most women don't want to date with a man with a kid when they don't have a kid. If you can ask any woman, would you date a man with a kid? And you don't have a kid,
they'll tell
they
you
will
no.
say no.
Right.
And most men, when they meet a woman that have kids and they don't have kids, they don't want. Most of them do.
Right.
Some men will,
Right.
but most men will do it. Like a good 80% of men won't do it. So it's not because you as a person lose value, but it's because the other people don't take that as value for themselves, right? They will not go for it because most men refuse to be stepfathers. They don't see any benefits to it, to take care of you and your kids, and especially when your kid's gonna say you ain't my daddy, and nobody's really trying to deal with it. Is that as you as a person lose value? It's basically the market. That's how it moves.
Right.
Like
It's more
whether you want it
That's
or
why I
not.
say
Can I add something?
investigate the
Go ahead,
household.
I think part of it is it goes back to the fear that men feel or they sense in this society. I don't think men are generally afraid of taking care of a woman that has a child. Like back in the days, it was not a problem. The men would step up and they'd be like, "Look, I love that woman and she has a kid, or even sometimes 2 kids. I'll take care of her and the kids. And if he has one, it's even better. But sometimes the man doesn't have one. The man will be like, "That's fine. Maybe I'm gonna have one, and then we have 3." Nowadays, what happens is you have those quote unquote baby mamas that bring the kids, but they also bring a lot of drama along with the kids.
Yes.
They would have, for example, 2 exes that sometimes they still have all kind of conversation with them, still engage in all kind of conversation. They themselves are disrespectful, and they don't teach the kids to respect the stepfather. This really a man who's a lot of times, like Mr. Yesha was saying, doesn't have kids. A man who doesn't have children is not wanting to deal with all that drama.
You see that as a risk
So
is taken.
this is not just it's a warning. It's a warning sign. When he's looking at it, he's like, yeah, I don't know about all that now. So I think it's again it goes back to the fear that men see, and also the signs that the society as a whole is going down, is degrading, and because things like that can generally affect a woman greatly, because the woman might just happen to have had a bad person, and maybe she was married to just like the devil the Bible speaks of. She made a mistake, and after maybe the guy cheated or so many drama, and she ended up moving on, and she is willing to start fresh. But then there you go. A lot of men out there, they're looking at just the fact that she has a kid or two. They say, no, we're not going with that woman. Nunca. So I think as men, if a man has kids and the woman has kids, then it's even better. But if if a man you don't have children and she has kids, I think you would have to really do research and investigate because just to add that there was something I was watching a video. This guy had to kick out this lady, and because she had 3 kids, right? She had 3 kids, and those kids were very disrespectful to him. And the day when he was kicking her out, the guy was like on the phone, on the camera, almost crying. He's like, I can't do it, man. I've been trying to put up with this for way too long. She refused to work. No matter what the guy does, she would not work. They offered her a job like a couple of years ago, $18. All she had to do is show up. She said, what the hell do you think I look like? She just doesn't want to work. She won't work. She will not clean. She's totally and super disrespectful, and the kids, obviously, they're running wild in the house, causing all kind of mayhem. And the guy doesn't have children on his own.
Wow.
And the guy has been taking care of the kids. He said, I love the kids, man. I've been taking care of the kids for a long time, like for almost 2 years, I think. He's like, I put up with a lot. She's showing up at the house at 2 a.m.
Where you coming?
Coming from where? Like, how could a man who's single put up with this? So that's what I'm saying. It's things like that that make a single man who wants to step up and really, maybe he really loves the woman. He wants to step up and take care of her and the kids. But looking at things like that, as a man, you're like, no.
She's
that
not good at herself.
Those women are the women that makes it hard for other good women, righteous women that really want to build a good family, basically destroy their chances.
Right, but as I said, value in this society is decided by people and people's behavior. By example, back then, the moral code was men was looking for a woman with good value and, can support and all this stuff. But the world has changed.
Yeah.
So women now are looking for women that's rich. So men, what they start doing is either act rich or, working so hard, steal or do whatever to get the money, because what women is looking for is money.
Right.
And men are looking for beauty. So what women do, changing their booty, changing their face, changing their lips, buying all this stuff. So market value has changed. It's the same thing today as well. When it comes with kids, market value has changed. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of our sisters, could have kids, right? But they say, I don't want nobody with kids. You just don't know your value. How you have kids, but you don't want somebody with kids. So that's what I call overpriced, right? You got kids, you might as well go with someone that, if it's not that you can't find somebody, I'm saying the women are overpricing themselves. Even if there's men that approach them, they got too many requirements.
Yeah.
Right, to choose that man. Like if you got kids, man, you might as well settle with someone that already have kids, right? Don't say I'm looking for a guy that don't have kids. Actually, by the age of 25, most guys already have kids.
Yeah.
The men that don't have kids by the time of 40, it's really slim. Like in my high school, most of these guys, they all got kids. So by the age of 25, most men already have kids. But you got kids, but you don't want a man that. Where you gonna find that man at?
So like, not to forget those. A lot of the sisters are extremely picky.
Right, exactly.
They don't want to deal with baby mama. They don't want to. They don't want no broke. They don't want broke guy, ugly. All of those things. Sisters like no. So at the end, that's why we say righteous sisters. The first key thing is you're looking for a man that feel the most first, and then second, you can start looking at other things. Okay, maybe I will take a man that has 1 or maybe 2 kids, but not one that has 52 kids. So you know what I'm saying? So
and I think
there has to be compromises.
Just to append to what you just said is, and I think there's another problem there too, with women that already have kids and getting with another man that may not have a kid. But I would say it's for the righteous sisters. If you ready to choose a mate, right, to choose a partner, and you already have kids, you have to make sure that you're gonna trust this man to lead this family. Because here's the problem: if you don't trust the man, if you're not really ready to, if you're not ready to move with this man, trust this man to lead the family, what's gonna happen is, if your kids is disrespectful, right? The man won't have a voice to say, "Hey, don't do this or don't do that," because you're already taken for the kids, right? Because as a man job is, if you come into a house, what is the first thing in your mind? I gotta make sure that I set this house right. Understand? Because your job is, you are the protector. You're the one that's to secure the family. So if you don't let him to really secure the family, he's gonna feel like his place, he don't belong here. And this is why I'm saying that for the sisters who are in the truth. If you're choosing a partner, you gotta make sure that you know to the fullest, okay, this is the man that I wanna be with, and I wanna trust this man to lead me and lead the family. Understand? So you doesn't have quarrels every day, and eventually you break up with this man, and then you have another kid, and it continue to multiply in the same cycle. You know what I'm saying? You see, this last day, you see, like some women, they have multiple baby daddies. Why? You understand? That's because they don't learn on how to choose the right person. You understand?
Long time ago, as the brother mentioned, it wasn't a problem that the men took a woman with a child, but until child support came, right? Until the drama with the court come, then there's some guys that they want their kids, they want to be in the life of their kids, and the kids are becoming disrespectful. Right, they're saying, "You ain't my daddy. You don't tell me what to do." And there's the false accusation. Kids are accusing their stepfather of sexually aggressing them, and because they just don't like their guy. It's just so much drama that the men have to deal with going into that kind of relationship. And the same goes for the woman too.
It's good for the woman.
If you go deal with a men that already have kids, it's not any easier.
It's not easy.
Right?
Dealing with baby
that's
mamas.
that's why the market right now, it's really tight for sisters that have a man. So the solution is that sisters is from the get-go, choose a man that you're gonna spend your life with, because it's really hard once you leave your first husband to find a second one.
It's not
easy. It's find someone from the get-go. You understand? If you're in the truth, you're an Israelite, find someone that fear the Most High. And take your time, please, and get to know them. It's just like I got fringes on, and let's get married. So because I know there's a guy, like his family, they don't live past 34 because they're sick. After 34, they drop dead. Right? Yes, there's people that have some crazy diseases in their family, but you just find someone, meet them, and marry them, and then find out later your child gonna catch all kind of asthma. They got all kind of problem because you didn't get your time to know that person. Because all these things gonna go through your DNA. This is your offspring. You need to take your time to get to know that person and make a conscious decision. I'm not saying you shouldn't choose someone to have, but you need to know at least, is that something I wanna go with? So is that something that I know that I can deal with? But when you just meet someone and you just marry them, there'll be consequences, and later on, you're gonna break up with them, and I didn't know he was like this. Just like last thing, there's a sister that married a guy, then find out that guy don't like to work.
He like
right?
to stay home and play games.
Yeah, he love to stay home. Right, he's that proverb guy that say there's a line on the way, like you got excuses. Right, then after that, guess what? They're divorced 6 months later.
Sis, what? Go ahead, sis.
I was gonna say, even though some women they have 1 or 2 kids, and even the men don't have kids, and the men accept to take them. Sometimes it's a risk too, because there was a story, a woman that had 2 kids and was married a guy that didn't have kids. And the guy didn't have no problem married the woman, had 2 kids, but he was abusing the kids sexually. So without their mama knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So some men they have pleasure in that, taking women that have kids so they can use them as well. So it's a risk in both
really
ways.
risky.
Yeah.
It's risky. It's risky. That's why, sisters, and another thing, so we gotta tell the sisters, if you with your men and the brothers too, stop having the mindset like, okay, I can get the next one. Because I think relationship today, it's not about sacrificing. They don't sacrifice for each other. There's no pure love. Because love requires sacrifice.
Business.
Right? It's a business. So, this day, we're not really investing in each other's. You understand? Because the person with me today be like, okay, the fact I can get the next one, you do something that deserve forgiveness, that you can forgive the person for. Be like, oh, because you do that, keep it moving.
Yeah.
You already have kids. Now you have a kid, you leave this good man that you could have spent the rest of your life with. The next thing you know, you get like another man that even crazier than the one that you have, where you already invest so much time in. And we have to take that mentality, like, okay, oh, I can fight. Just because you have the option doesn't mean that you have to do it, because you don't know. You know what you have in your hand right now, but you don't know the other one that you're gonna get into your life. You got something to say, bro?
Yeah, I wanted to add something. Very recently, I heard a story of this woman who left her husband because the guy was not doing good. He was not making money. And I don't know if if he didn't want to work, but I just don't know if she decided to walk away. Now, this is just kind of to add to what you were saying. Nowadays is just like America is pretty much a business. If you don't know, nowadays even relationship turns into business. And the men also, the first thing the man is looking at is like, what can she do here, right? And the woman is like, what can he provide? And any little problem, she already had somebody else in mind, and any little problem, he already had somebody else in mind. No one is willing to figure it out, to sit down. Let's compromise. Let's first of all, it's very hard because it's not even about building a relationship for the future. And I think it's one thing maybe nowadays all couples should do is to sit down and ask themselves that question. Are we in a relationship that we truly, sincerely see that can last till the end? Because too often, people are actually actively in a relationship. They don't even think they're gonna be together for the next 10 years.
Not even for the next 10 years,
Right.
for the next month.
Because it's again, it's easy for people to just like you were saying. It's easy for people to just decide and say, yeah, I don't want that. Let me move on and get the next one. And then I don't want that. Let me move on and get the next one. And it's back in the days, women would be more inclined to really suffer in the relationship because they really wanted family. Like even for example, like I always say that my mom, she was willing to do whatever it takes because she wanted to keep her family together. And she waited for her husband for a long time. And the same thing, like I said, women would do that. They would suffer and suffer, but they wanted the family to stay together. And if the mere fact they are married, they would not step out to go with another man because, again, they want the family to be together. But nowadays, with the new generation, they're not willing to wait. Whatever, the men just look at them the wrong way. They say, yep, bye, I'm out. And then they probably say, yeah, I had 3, 5, 10 ex-husbands. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really, it's a sad thing.
And it becomes a problem when you pass all those exes and you see you got X multiplying by X give you so much XX. Now it becomes a problem because you come with all those bargains into that relationship. You start comparing your current men with all the X's that you have. You understand? So you will never find the happiness or that you're really looking for if you were to just sit down and, okay, I have this man. Sit down and ask yourself, what is it in this man? What is the problem that I have with this man? Is it my fault? Because sometimes it could be your fault. You don't know, because you don't know his past. You don't know what he's been through. Maybe something that you trigger every time you say something like that. You trigger him to say something else. You understand? It's all about compromisations. You have to learn to compromise and learn to invest in each other. Not just so quick to say, okay, I give up. I give up. It's about investing, because there's no love without sacrifice. Understand? So the next question, I'm about to end soon, very soon. Is there such things of a perfect partner?
Like finding a perfect partner.
No, I'm saying like, cause today in society they say I want a
Subject is
perfect
about choosing somebody.
right, choosing someone. But that's what I'm saying, like
Or finding a perfect.
finding a perfect partner. That's what I'm referring to. Mhm. Is there such thing? Finding a
No.
perfect partner, Sister Dan?
No, I think a perfect partner is made over time, because you go in to the relationship with differences, with similarities, and you work them all together. So in the end, I hear a lot of couples or married couples that have been together 30, 40 years and say it was a journey. It was well worth it. We are now, so many years married, and I wouldn't have had it any different. They mastered it. They made it to that point. So no, I don't think there's any perfect relationship or perfect marriage. Everyone's imperfect, so with that, how can we even say, wow, that's a beautiful relationship? We can say, I like how they work things out. I like how they work together.
Right.
That's beautiful how they do that. Is it perfect for you the way that couple does it? It may not work, because one of the individuals may be different in how they go about things. Okay, so we can't match one couple to the next. So I personally don't think there's no perfect relationship until you get to the end, the plateau.
Who's next?
Longevity.
I overwhelmingly 100% agree with that statement. There is no perfect individual that you're gonna meet. And if you were to meet someone that's perfect, that means that individual is just like you. And trust me, you wouldn't want that. Because before you could even ask her, for the food that you want, she already bring it to you because she knows what you want. And you can argue with her because she knows everything you're gonna say next. That's not good. And I'm not saying to argue, by the way. But what I'm trying to say is the whole point. What makes a relationship fun? What makes finding the right person fun is the fact that every day you're learning something about that individual. Every day, it's like the chief says, it's a journey, because you're learning and you're gonna compromise, right? She's gonna compromise, and that's okay. She might say something you don't like, and you might say something to her she doesn't like, but at the end of the day, we learn that I would learn she doesn't like that, and she would learn that I don't like that. And we won't do it to each other again. And eventually, in the process of time, 20 years later, you're gonna find that our mindset have become almost so close. It's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
So that perfection, you don't get it right away, but you walk towards it. Even the scripture, I think there's a verse that says, like, the path of the righteous is like a light that gets brighter day to day, right? So every single day, it gets even better. It gets better. Eventually, you will be talking to my wife. You think you're talking to me?
Yeah, it comes with
because
time.
she say exactly what I say, and I will say exactly what she would say.
It comes with time.
So
it comes with time.
That perfection comes in the process of time.
Go ahead.
The concept of perfection, it's all based on expectation. There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect doesn't mean doesn't have flaws. Right? It just means it meets my expectation. By example, you can be cooking a food, right? And you taste it, you say, that's perfect. Like
That's
this
your
chef say,
taste.
perfect.
That's your dish. Favorite
Right?
dish.
But when I taste it, I'm like, bro, that's too spicy. Right? So perfect doesn't mean like it's good for everybody. It just means it's good for me.
Right.
That when the Most High made the heaven and the earth, He said it was perfect. But till today, some people say, "Why didn't God give us wings?" Right? So to them, it's not perfect because they don't have wings. But it's perfect to the Most High, though, because that's what He wanted to do.
Yes.
So me, when I find my wife, I said it was perfect. It was perfect. It's not because as a person he has flaws. It's because of my expectations.
That's what you wanted.
And what I wanted from her. So yes, you can find a perfect guy. I do believe you can find a perfect guy. It's not a guy, again, it's not he doesn't have flaws. It's what are you looking for?
Yeah.
Maybe you're looking for a guy that can let you do whatever you want. He's perfect.
He's perfect in his doing.
Perfect. Because that's what you want.
Right.
Because you'll meet somebody, certain women, they'll meet a guy that's so nice. And they say, I don't like that guy. He's too nice. I'm going to divorce him. He's not perfect for her.
Actually, it happens before.
No, I know.
It happened.
Okay, so you think, that's a good guy. He's perfect for you.
Yeah.
But not exactly for her. Maybe her background was raised with him and that was tough. I need someone that's tough. Right?
Brother's
So,
too soft.
brother, be soft for me. Like everything is a yes man. Everything I ask,
Oh,
yes.
yes, baby.
Like,
Yes, baby.
I even tried for him to say no. He can't say no. He's a yes man. Right? So he's not perfect for me. So that's what I'm saying. It's all your expectation. That's why it's important when you're looking for a man, you know what you're expecting, what you want. Right? From looking at it, don't marry a man you already know he's a yes man, but you don't need a yes man. So from the get-go when you're looking, does that person match my taste? Do I find what I'm looking for in that person? Another thing too, if we're talking about perfect in term he have no flaw, I don't think that exists. I think that's in this sense you guys were going. Like you're not gonna find an angel that have no flaws, but that's where again I said you put your expectation way too high. And I know some ladies, man, we men we're looking for a lady that's look okay, you look good and help us with business. If you words on 5 fingers, a woman have a whole list of things you're looking for. Listen,
Still count.
make it shorter. Make it shorter and know what you want, right? So when you get that guy, you'll be okay. It's not because he doesn't have flaw, but it's to my taste and it's to my expectation.
Yeah. And I think a lot of time too. Also, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think I agree with all three of you because there's perfect for what you're looking for, because some people are looking for similarity and partners, and some people are looking for diversity because I don't want to see myself. I'm looking at whatever you're doing, and that's what I'm doing. So it become boring. So I want, some people are looking for that their partner doing something different and making fun, because I'm gonna spend my life with somebody that I'm just looking at myself and then I say, what? Whatever I'm doing, that's what you're doing. Some people say, oh no, I don't want that. So I want somebody to live with that, just like the guy said, I want problem always.
You want problem?
No problem.
I want peace. So you're looking. Some people are looking for diversity, something that's different, to spicy the relationship, or some people are looking for peace, or that the same thing, that similarity that they have, and that's what looking there. Is it perfect for you? So you take it. So it might be diversity, or it might be the same thing. So you don't know what's perfect for everybody.
I think what you guys conclude off is the fact that you would find a perfect person based on your standard, what you're looking for. Because it could, I'm coming. It could, someone that may looks beautiful to you may not look beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I might say, oh man, you could say, oh, this sister look nice, man. I said, man, that's just ugly as hell, right? But it's perfect for you, and you feel like, okay, you gravitate more towards that sister. But me myself, I'm like, man, listen, man, she's too fat, or she don't work out. I'm not just saying. I'm just giving putting in a scenario. But you just gotta find what works for you at the end of the day. You had something, sister.
I do. Have you all heard the poem Marriage Box?
Marriage box?
Anyone?
No.
You mind if I read it real quick?
Please.
Is it long?
No, it's a short poem.
Oh, good.
It says most people get married believe in a myth that marriage is a beautiful box full of all things they long for. Companionship, intimacy, friendship, etc. The truth is that marriage at the start is an empty box. You must put something in before you can take anything out. There is no love in marriage. Love is in people. And people put love in marriage. There is no romance in marriage. You have to infuse it into your marriage. A couple must learn the art and the form and form the habit of giving, loving, serving, praising, and keeping the box full. If you take out more than you put in the box, the box will be empty. So when you ask that question, are there perfect marriages? It's not until you've gotten to that box of the point of filling that marriage box. Now you can take out a little, here a little, and then that's when you get that little perfect feeling. I can take a little bit of this out of my husband. I can take a little bit of this out of the box with my wife, and that's what makes it perfect for that time. But I'm sure that there's a point in time in a marriage where you say, man, I wish my wife would just, just understand where I'm coming from right here. At that point, there's no, perfect situation. You have to work at it. So then you put that in the box. You infuse it in the box and then take it out.
So the question is it about, finding a perfect partner?
No, he said, is there any perfect marriages?
Yeah.
Is there a
That's
perfect
what-
As a
marriage?
perfect partner.
Is there a perfect partner in terms of when you're looking or in terms when you were married?
It-
Because I know the subject is about how do we find a perfect partner. I'm answering based on when you're looking for somebody, or you're gonna
it's
find the
more,
perfect
more
person.
to a finding.
And I think you guys on this side of already finding a person inside of a marriage. I think we're on two different sides. So what is it exactly?
Yeah.
When you're looking or when you already find
more
it?
like when you looking, because
Okay.
the topic
Yeah.
is more like
Yours
when you look.
yours as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
We were more
When
on
you
that.
looking, because the thing is, a lot of time we're looking to get into a relationship, but doesn't have
How do
no
we find the
idea
perfect?
how do we find that perfect person we're looking for.
Right.
Yes. So the time is
I
at
think-
hand.
We were
So,
on two different.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. I enjoyed both because I'm sure that our viewers did enjoy
You
it
have
too.
more questions?
I got one more to finish it. But it's 9:00. So what are some signs that a person should pay attention to that will let them know this partner is the wrong person for them? Anyway, whoever wants to take the question.
I mean, I'll always go first.
Go ahead.
So what are the signs that someone might be the not the right person? I would say the two signs. Number one is lies. Okay. When someone starts telling you little lies, it's just a matter of time. Wait till you're going to hear more lies, and you're going to hear big lies. Okay, and things that
Atrocious lies.
atrocious lies, right?
Massive lies.
So, someone who lie about, and there are people, by the way, that lie about anything, any little thing, right? And they would create stories out of nowhere just to,
For you to get
yeah,
trapped.
like any little thing, they will lie about it. And when you start seeing that, wait till you find out how many lies they've been telling you. And that's the first thing. And the second thing I would tell specifically for the sisters is watch out to see if the guy has violent tendencies, right? If he seems to be violent and seems to be agitated by little things, and he doesn't seem to want to listen, or he doesn't seem to be peaceful, trust me, he is worse than you think. Because if at the onset he cussing you out, if in the very beginning he's showing the signs that he want to strangle you, or he want to punch you, or he want to yell at you, a year within the marriage or within the relationship, don't say you didn't know this guy was the devil. Because you're going to see a man is always aggressive, by the way. But he will contain his aggressiveness because he truly loves you and he wants peace. But if in the very beginning he's showing his aggressiveness, when he gets into the relationship, he's gonna be 10 times more aggressive. Wait till you piss him off, then he start yelling and going crazy. There's someone that I know, and when he gets mad, it's a relative, all relative, long time ago. When he gets mad, he start just breaking everything in the house. Literally, he just literally take the apart anything, just throwing them in the floor, and so you do not want that. That's basically hell. So if in the very beginning you see that the guy is showing signs that he's very aggressive, if you can walk away, walk away. Okay, because it's gonna get worse.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Keep that up. The next, Sister Donnie.
What was the question again?
It says, what are some signs that would indicate to you that this is the one person to choose, to partner with?
I would say go with your feeling, your gut. As soon as you feel that this is something's not right, to just gracefully bow out and just, I don't think this is gonna work for me, and don't try to make it work if they're not willing to correct their mistakes. But just follow your gut. Sometimes as women we have intuitions and we know that something doesn't feel right, but we ignore it and we still go forth with, okay, let me see, and this time let me see again. Okay, maybe next time it's going. Then you're in this relationship 3-5 years and you look back like, wow, I saw that from the beginning and nothing has changed.
You invest in so much time, you can't go
so
back.
follow your intuition, follow your gut, your feeling about the person.
Wow. So much things, man, we could talk about tonight. Mr. Yeshua, what do you have, man?
Signs depend on, again, what you're looking for. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people, then, as I said earlier, you'd be surprised some women love when a man beat them. Right? You'd be surprised, right? Like, yeah, I'm telling you, we've had women that love that kind of stuff. They find it boring if you're not gonna shake them and beat them. Right? And we've seen it. I'm not making this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Right? So some women, they love that. So basically, I'm not saying that's what you should look for, but what is your expectation for a man? So you gotta write down what you don't want. What I don't want in a man. So I'm looking for this sign. What can I bear? What can I support? And what can I support? Right? So that's that. But one thing I want to bring out, it's two things. The first thing, that Ecclesiastes 6 verse 7 say, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. It says, for some men is friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of trouble. And there's a friend who's being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. Right? If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thee. So, as the scripture also say, a friend can only be known in adversity. So you can only know who's your friend when you're in problems. So that the best thing you do is set him up. Let's see if in my trouble he will be there for me. Test him. Tell him that I don't have money. I need some money from you. Tell him that I'm sick. Can you help me out? Will he be there for me? What is his reaction? Right? So do something to, if you don't want a violent man, do something to him or pretend to do something to him to see what his reaction is. He gonna start hating you? You need to test your friend based on what you're not looking for. Right? But another thing, big piece of advice, especially for Hebrew Israelite, especially for our women, our sisters, pray the Most High, man. Always pray the Most High. And I remember my mother was dating that guy, and she prayed about it. And the Most High gave her a dream where she dreamed there was a horse. Him and the guy was on the horse, and the horse lay down on the ground. And my mom was saying, "What's wrong with that horse?" He said, "Nothing's wrong with the horse." Then after that, my mom saw that he turned into the horse.
That means he won't walk.
That means that man is not gonna work. He's not gonna carry you forward. He's not gonna carry you forward. So
That's some Levite stuff.
no, but exactly, the Most High will reveal things unto you. The Bible says, "Ask and you shall find." Never. The Bible says, "Woe to them and that build a city without the Most High." Like you just go ahead and pick a man and you don't ask the Most High for advice. That's your problem.
Yep.
Right? So always pray about that kind of stuff. And the Most High will direct your path. If you need a man to ask him, he will give you a man. Just be patient. And when the time comes, you will know. Just like when my mom was marrying my father, and my mom dreamed like there was a man that come and give her a ring. Right? And she said, "But I'm 7th day, I don't wear a ring. That must be of the devil." But then a couple of weeks after that, my dad came and, be with her, and they're married, and they were for a long time until he died. Right? So the Most High will give you the right person if you simply ask.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, again, all these things we just talk about, expectation and stuff like that. Honestly, I think the Most High know what's best for you.
And don't be hasty too. That's another thing. Sometimes
And sometimes we just gotta let the Most High
Let
pick,
the Most
because
High
at the end of the day, He'll just simply choose the best.
That's kind. Choose the best for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But my question is, how? Like for some people may say, how do we know when the Most High choosing the
He's
best?
revealed
No,
it to you.
you would know.
In fact, we've seen many. Was it one of the kings in Israel? He has the Most High for a sign, and the Most High gave him a sign. Like the Most High we serving can give you a sign. He can show you what. Just say the word. Give me a sign.
I did ask all
So
type of
and He
signs.
will show you a sign. You'll know.
But
Go ahead, sis.
No, I did ask.
But the
all
thing
type
in
of
this
signs.
modern day, I think people take the Most High out of the equation.
Yeah,
the
so that's the
equation.
thing.
Yes.
So just like I was gonna say that all this advice is good for how to choose and stuff like that. So when you need for the Hebrew sisters, so when you're looking for a righteous man and you, even if it's not a Hebrew yet, and you're talking, you're saying, okay, with your faith, who you are, and stuff like that, to see where, if they accept, willing to see whatever. The first thing they say, you're crazy with all this thing, like, right? They'll just stay away. Because if a man can say the Most High, you're talking about the Most High and stuff like that, it's not you inviting him to the club to do all those kind of crazy stuff, but you're talking about the Most High and stuff like that to be moral, and they tell you you're crazy, you don't have time for all those things, you stay away from somebody like that. And then about the choosing, pray and the Most High will give you the right one. And I have the testimony. I asked the Most High for a sign, and He give me a sign.
That's right.
That's right.
I had a
We got
dream.
living proof here.
Yes, I had a dream with my husband, and he was talking to me. I asked the Most High, is it the white one?
That's so perfect
Show
for each other.
me something. I said, show me something. And it's the same night I had a dream.
Yes.
And
That's
one of the elders in the old congregation was taking my hand and put my hand on his hand.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm crazy.
Yeah, all praises, man. Yeah, give the Most High a hand for this, man. Give the Most High a hand for this. Again, guys, once again,
Right before we
you got
finish up,
some.
me out
Yeah.
to
Once again, guys, when we choosing, and I'm glad Miss Seisha mentioned that, let the Most High be the center, the one who choose for us, because a lot of times your mind will play with you. Your mind will play with you
And
tell
people
you.
are good at faking.
And people, that's one thing. People can fake it,
Oh, yeah.
especially. And it's funny you say that. There's the other day I met this woman, and she said, "Oh, I'm 35." I said, "You married? Do you have children? Do you have a husband?" She said, "No, I don't have a husband, and I'm not married. I'm single." I mean, she said that, a woman that is single always gonna say that. And she said, "Are you single?" I'm like, nah, I'm not single. But I asked her, "What is it that you're looking for?" And it's funny. She said, "Oh, I'm looking for a man who is smart. I'm looking for a man who love to read. I'm looking for a man who love to travel with me." I'm like, "Really? This is what you're looking for?" I'm like, "You're looking for the wrong thing." Because this is not what you should be looking for from a man. looking. Every man is intelligent in his own nature. You understand?
Sure.
Everyone has his own. They have their own talent. What I may good at, I may love to read. Someone may not love to read, but that doesn't make me. Does that make me not imperfect? That doesn't make me imperfect, right? But if you, this is as a woman, you're looking for a man who love to read, who's intelligent. How do you define intelligent? You understand all that? But the most at the end, guys, the most I gotta be the center. Gotta be the one that choose for you, and you gotta rely on it. And sometimes too, you gotta learn how to be patient. Don't be haste. Don't let your mind play trick with you, because if you do so, you're gonna end up with the wrong person. You have to divorce and get back again and says, "Hey, man, I wish I had waited." Now go ahead, brother.
No, pretty much. I think you covered everything.
Let me read that right quick. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 1 it says, "For all this I consider in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of the Most High. No man know either love or hatred by all that is before them." By all that's before you, don't know what really love and hatred is.
Yeah.
You know, you might think it's hatred, but it's actually love. You might think it's love, but it's actually hatred. So that's why that's why even the Solomon say, at the end of the matter, fear the Most High and keep His commandments. Because at the end of the day, yes, you may all have all these requirements, but you may not even know what you're even asking for.
Yeah.
All these things you said as a requirement may be bad for you, actually.
Right. It may not be what the Most High wants for you.
Exactly.
Or what will be good for you.
Exactly.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
So at the end of the
that.
day, it's really the Most High do the choosing, you know, and put that in His hand. Again, we know it's a lot of factor for people in the world that are hearing us. You know, John 9:31 put it clear, the Most High don't hear prayers of sinners. So what does that mean? If you're breaking His laws, so He's not, He can't even help you.
He's not
because
gonna hear you.
we got scriptures that say the Most High give a righteous man to a righteous woman,
Right.
and a wicked woman to a wicked man. So that means if you living wickedly,
It's
the
gonna
Most
be a
High,
wicked
you ask
person.
the Most High something, the best match for you is that person that's in your same level.
Wicked, just like
If you wicked, He gotta give you a wicked person. If you say the Most High give me a perfect guy, but I'm wicked, your perfect match is a wicked
It's a
guy.
wicked.
Because if He give you a good man, you're gonna drive him away.
Right.
He won't be your match. You'll say he's too nice. He treat me too nice. He
not
won't go to the
compatible.
club. He won't do certain things for me sexually. So the Most High will match you with someone at your level. So if you want somebody that's good or righteous treating you right, you need to repent.
That's the first case.
You need to repent. Then He will give you that person that will stick around with you and treat you the way you're supposed to be treated.
Yeah, because you can't say you want a righteous man when you're still involving in all the wickedness of this world, and you're not with the righteous.
Right.
Because if you want something, you gotta surround yourself where you see the potential of you getting that thing.
Exactly.
But you say you want a righteous man, but you're all up in the club.
Right, exactly.
You party
So you're
all
gonna
day.
get a club boy.
You're gonna get a club boy. It's just the simple math. 1 + 1 = 2.
That's it.
That's it. So I think we went out of time, guys. So thank you so much for coming. It was a wonderful time discussing about this subject, and we're gonna continue with the show because I believe it's all about making an impact in our people's life and making sure that we can teach our young generations to come, you know, the mistake that we have made so far, so we can teach them, okay, this is how to choose and how to build a righteous family before the Most High. Because on Psalm 11 verse 3 it says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So we as a righteous, we're finding the problems, find the root cause of the problem, and see how we can fix this problem that our people are facing on a daily basis. So with that, I say thank you for watching us, and may the Most High bless you. Thank you for watching Traditional Family.
Click on the red button.